Imagine this. What if you were accused of a horrible crime? Details of your arrest, your mugshot, all broadcast on the news, on websites, newspapers, and social media.
Then it's quickly determined there's no truth to any of those charges. That real-life nightmare happened to a local woman who's now trying to get her life and reputation back after being presumed guilty.
Well, I think they're very sensitive animals.
For all her life, Laurie Swanson has been around horses, showing, teaching, caring for them.
Can you come out?
But last June, Laurie's life, her world, her reputation were shattered. It all began when she went inside this Molalla supermarket for lunch. It was something she did often, part of her routine.
I went into the restroom and went into a bathroom stall.
While in the store's restroom, Laurie heard a woman and children enter. The woman went into a stall with a small child. Laurie didn't know it, but there was another older child also in the restroom.
Then I walked out of the bathroom stall, and there was a girl standing there, nervous, agitated, fidgeting, and looking like this, back and forth as if somebody were chasing her and stuff, you know.
Laurie says she put her iPad down to wash her hands.
And so I said, I'm putting this here while I wash my hands, thinking that hopefully she would think I was really paying attention to that iPad. So I went around, washed my hands really fast, went over, picked up the iPad and walked out the door, and walked out of Safeway, got in my car and drove away.
Store surveillance video captured Laurie leaving the store. But that same video was about to be shown to thousands of people. The 11-year-old girl who Laurie had seen in the restroom told her parents Laurie had sexually abused her in a very ugly way. Her parents called police. Laurie's life was about to change forever. Laurie lives on a horse farm, land that's been in the family for almost 100 years. Late the next night, the Molalla police came knocking on Laurie's door. They had identified her as the woman in the video.
And I looked out through those windows, and I could see a fellow standing in the driveway in dark clothes. I couldn't understand why they would be doing what they were doing, pounding and yelling and screaming and saying, you know, open the door.
Laurie did open her door.
And then there was a big guy standing in a blocked area there on the door, you know. And he just grabbed me and handcuffed me behind my back and then did this like a lineman, you know, in football.
Laurie was taken to the Molalla police station, not knowing what was happening. A female officer told her.
She said, well, you've been on the news. And I thought, well, how could I be on the news when they just picked me up? You know, I didn't get that. And apparently what they had done is put things on Facebook.
Laurie was taken to the Clackamas County Jail where she was booked. Her mugshot taken, her picture broadcast on the news. By now, Laurie's attorney had looked at the police report, and to her, in her opinion, things didn't add up. The girl's mother was in the restroom just feet away from her daughter but hadn't heard anything. The girl hadn't yelled out for help. Her recollection of what happened changed several times, and there was this. Her 9-year-old brother told police he too was molested by a man at the store, later admitting to officers he made the story up. Laurie's nightmare was about to end. The Clackamas County grand jury was now looking into the case, and after listening to testimony from the victim and Laurie, after reviewing all the facts and evidence, the grand jury did something they rarely do. They issued a not true bill. There would be no indictment, no trial. Laurie was free. The problem? She had already been presumed guilty.
I think I would feel worse, except that I've had so many people reach out and so many people come to me in a very positive way and bend over backwards to engage with me and talk to me about, you know, what can we do to help you.
Laurie does feel Molalla Police could have handled the situation better. I reached out to Molalla Police Chief Rod Lucich. He told me, we need to be careful not to confuse the role of the courts with the responsibility of law enforcement to take appropriate action in the investigation of incidents. And although all charges against Laurie were dropped, Molalla police have not deleted posts with Laurie's mugshot and store surveillance from their Facebook page. Vulgar comments directed at Laurie still appear on the site. Laurie is still trying to put the pieces back together. This place, the family farm, brings her joy, but for true peace, she's reaching deep down inside herself.
To hang on to your self-esteem really is big.
Your self-esteem took a pretty big hit.
Yes, it did. And I think it's a decision to maintain your self-esteem and not allow, you know, what's happening to you to take you away from the person that you know you are.
It's important to note that grand jury testimony is secret, but out of more than 2,000 felony cases presented to the Clackamas County Grand Jury just last year, only 8 cases resulted in a not true bill. So Jennifer, in her case, this was a very unusual move.
Yeah, I'd say. And you have to ask, what about the girl who claimed this happened? What about her family?
You know, I was very careful here. You know, the child's involved. You want to be very careful about privacy issues. I tried reaching out to the family. The girl's father did tell Oregonian reporter Steve Mays, who did Laurie's story as well, they do believe their child's account of what happened, but they say they aren't going to let that one incident define their family, saying they expect that someday it's going to be just a blip on the radar. Meanwhile, Laurie says she continues to reach out to friends, family, and other people, but she says it's going to take a while.
Yeah, I bet. And to keep that self-esteem up.
Yes.
Thanks, Jeff.